Hello. Today we are going to continue talking about data collection and graphs. Yesterday we talked about what is data. Data is the collection of facts, and you get those facts from doing what is called a survey. Survey is just when you ask people questions that help you find out facts. So some of those questions or examples of those questions are right here. And then we talked about different types of graphs. We had the pie graph or the pie chart. Another word for it is a circle chart. People use that too. This is a table. This is what we use to organize our information when we first are collecting information from the survey. Down here, we have a line graph. It's called that because they use a line to show you information. The line graph. We have a bar graph. And they call it that because they use bars on it. Here's a line plot. And you can kind of remember it by the fact that there's just a line with X's plotted on it or written on it. Okay? And then a picture or pictograph because they use pictures to help you. But today I want to kind of talk about parts of a graph. And so I'm going to type that up here. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Parts of a graph. Okay? I'm going to use this bar graph here because it's pretty clear and we can see the numbers clearly on it. Different parts of a graph. First, a graph has what is called a title. The title is the main idea of the graph. It tells you what the graph is all about. Then we have axes. When I say axes, here's the word axis. I'm going to type it out. Axis. We have an x-axis and a y-axis. The x-axis is the line here on the bottom. It's the floor of the graph, if you will. The x-axis. And then the y-axis is this line going up and down of the graph. It is the wall of the graph. As long as you have those two lines, you pretty much are good with your graph. Then we have something called labels. Labels tell you, or another word for it is subtitle. Labels tell you, excuse me, what the numbers stand for here and what the categories are, what types. So you see the number of students. These numbers represent the number of students who voted. And then we have juices. That tells you what these things are. They're not just color, they are types of juices. All right. We have also a scale. The scale is the numbers that you see here. This is your scale of your bar graph. It helps you to know how many by just looking across from it. Looking across from this number, I see that this bar has stopped, so I notice that that is 8. I want to point out here on their scale, it starts with a 0 right here at the corner, and then every time they write a number, they write the number right by the line. And that's so that it could be very clear. When this bar hits the top of the line, it's exactly at 8. Now there's a number in between 6 and 8, which is, right, 7. If a bar were to stop in the middle, I would know that it was 7 because I know 8 is this line and 6 is this line, so in the middle is 7. You can also call the way that they're counting here, this is called intervals. Intervals is what the scale is counting by. So this scale here is going 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So I know that this scale has intervals of 2. So I wrote this word here to help you kind of remember. This word is tails. Tails will help you remember most of the things that should go on a graph. T is for title, students' favorite juices. That's the title of this graph. A is for axes. Can't really make a graph like this, a bar graph, without the axes. I is for intervals. It needs to count by something. Even if it's 1, it's still intervals. It's still counting by something. L is for labels. Another word I've used is subtitles. And S is for 2 things. It's for the scale, right here, the numbers, you have to have those. And it's also for the spaces between the bars. This is very important on a bar graph that you have those spaces. And you'll see some graphs without spaces. Those are a different type of graph. So, those are different types of graphs, sorry. Here's a line plot. It is a little bit different because a line plot has a title, but it doesn't have a y-axis. It just has an x-axis. And it doesn't have labels all the time, but it does have a scale, and the scale is on the bottom. Okay? All right. Even on a picture graph, you can see the scale. In this one, they didn't put a title, but if you look closely, there's one thing I forgot to tell you about. Red, orange, yellow, purple, those are all called categories. And yes, C is not in the word tails, so that's something extra that you have to remember. And it's okay, it's one more thing, categories. And that should be simple for you to have. So they have categories on here, and even though they're a little blurry, they're there. They don't have a title, they don't have labels on this one, but it does have a y-axis and an x-axis. So that's what I wanted to tell you about the parts of a graph.